Alright, Revolution is now come and gone, and I was able to watch it. Now, you already know what the situation is. I explained it. Situation hasn't changed yet, but I was able to watch Revolution, and I will tell you this. I'm trying not to talk too loud because it is 12 at night, and I don't want to disturb my neighbors. But this was a show you can easily say that the majority of the matches were great. I did not care about the kickoff, which is 0 Hour. Didn't care about 0 Hour. And I'm actually not going to talk much about 0 Hour, other than what happened. But I'm going to tell you this. It was a good show. It was. But, and I will say this again, what was the point? And I'll explain that at the end of this review if I don't forget. Okay, we got how many matches? We got 4 matches during the kickoff show. Honestly, you look at the first match when it came to Undisputed Kingdom with was that Undisputed Kingdom? No, it wasn't. Sorry. We got Commander and the reason I'm botching here is that I didn't care about Commander and I didn't care about Hologram. Not that I hate them, I just don't see what's the importance of them right now. Because they don't have no stories, they're just doing matches. And the team they went up against, you actually believe they're going to win? No. It's going to be Hologram, it's going to be Commander. They won, but I didn't care. Next, we had an 8-man tag. We had Undisputed Kingdom and the Daniel Garcia, who's been doing pretty good, versus Shane Taylor and the Mobile Infantry. They're not a bad team and they're not a bad group, but they're on ROH. As far as I know, they're on ROH. Why would I care? Now, if they've been working Collision more than they've been doing ROH, I'm wrong, because I don't watch Collision anymore. I haven't watched it because it hasn't been that interesting. But if they are on Collision, good. Hopefully they'll start moving to Dynamite and they build them up. But if they haven't, they're still an ROH group, and who cares about ROH? In the end, Undisputed Kingdom won, of course. Now, Chris Jericho versus Gravity. Now, this was, to a point, interesting, because Gravity was going after the Heavyweight Championship ROH. But he gets hit in the face with the bat, and he gets his mask ripped off. Now, of course, Bandino tried to come out, because that's his brother. He tried to save him, but he could not. And then Bandito's and Gravity's mom and sister come out to the ring, and the only way to protect Gravity was to sprawl on top of him and cover his face, because, of course, you don't want to lose your mask when you're a luchador. He did lose his mask because now Chris has it. But here's the thing. It was good. I will not tell you that at least Chris Jericho did something a bit different. Now, it's not something he hasn't done before, but at least it's more than what he's been doing when it comes to the Bad Apple and Big Bill. I'm just saying, they haven't really done anything with the learning tree in a bit. And admittedly, Chris has been getting stale. Let's make this clear. I want Chris Jericho to go away for like 3 months. Take a break, go away, and then reset himself again. Because he has not done that. He has been on the go, on, with very little time to rest. And he's gotten stale. He needs a reboot. But he needs a reboot being away from AEW when he hasn't done it yet. I don't know why he hasn't done it. It's dumb. Moving on. This is the match I did not care at all. Big Boom again with his sons, and one's going, really? You're still doing the Instagram stuff, AEW. And it doesn't make a difference who was in the match. Yes, Orange Cassidy was there, yes. Then we got the guys who were from the, Righteous Rhinestone. I don't care. I don't care about Big Boom. I don't care. Seeing his sons, I don't care. They're kids. And they're not interesting. The first time that Big Boom was there with his sons, the particular one going like this, people did cheer for him. But this time they did not. And even when him wearing the glasses, screaming for his dad, he's going like this. No one wasn't really cheering that much for him. That's gone away. And they're still doing it. And I'm like, why? The match was a standard match, but I still don't care about Big Boom. I don't care about Big Justice. I don't care about the other kid. I keep forgetting his name who likes to go like this. And he doesn't feel interesting. Moving on. Done with the 0 hour. There was only one match, which wasn't really a match. What's the most interesting thing? Main card. And if you wonder, your voice sounds a little funny. Yeah, I got a cold. I caught it from a friend. Sore throat again. Caught it from a friend who got sick. Main card. This match I was very interested in. MJF versus Hangman Page. Let's make this clear. As an opening, it was the wisest opening could have done. Look, seeing MJF do a pelvic thrust in the face of Hangman Page, wonderful. Pissing him off. It was good. I enjoyed the match. Blood, fine, a little bit. Seeing how it went, I did enjoy the psychology of the match. Did I believe MJF needed a job? Excuse me. Did he need a job? Yes. They put over Page. But what's going to happen with Hangman Page and what is going to happen with MJF next? Is this feud over? I don't think so. They got to have something for both these guys to do until what happened at the end of the show and what's going on will happen. So, yes, Hangman Page did beat MJF. But I don't think the feud's over. And it shouldn't be over because they got nothing for both of these guys to do. There is no one strong enough that's going to work with MJF. And it's going to work with Hangman Page. Just nobody. Moving on. Second match. TBS Championship. What was her name? Momo Wakamara versus Mercedes. Didn't care. There's only one match I care about when it comes to Mercedes, and that should be against one person, but they don't even show her. I haven't seen her on Dynamite, unless she has been there, and that's Saraya. I want Saraya versus Mercedes Moné. There's a story there, particularly that Mercedes clearly was the last person that Saraya wrestled, and she couldn't work for years after that. There's an automatic story there. Either they don't want to go there, or there's just something going on with Saraya that we just don't see. It wasn't a bad match. And I'm not saying Momo's bad. But I didn't expect Mercedes to job here. There was no point for her to job. There's nothing there. Now, of course, we see Billy Starks, who is from ROH and who has been working with Athena. But does that mean Billy is ready to finally go to the main roster? Or is she just going to be there briefly? She needs to be on the main roster. If she's been built up enough by Athena, she should be on the main roster. So hopefully they will start showing her. That's all I'm going to say. And I didn't forget about, what can I say about Harley Cameron? Because that was the last match and Harley did show up. I think she shouldn't have did it. Next match. Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland. This was another match I was looking very much forward to because they've been building up Nana, making it very important that his jacket, his coat, was important after 30 years of service in wrestling. What do we get? We get Ricochet coming out, who has now put his own mark on the back of it, which made it interesting. Then we get the match where Swerve, at a certain point when he's beaten down on Ricochet, you can see Nana trying to talk to him, saying, don't fight him, don't beat him up, get him in the ring. And then he gets shoved by Swerve. And he gets upset, and he walks away. He was trying to get his coat before, could not get it, and then he gets shoved, and then he goes into the back. And then Swerve was kind of shocked. The match went on, and it was a great match, particularly when I saw that 6:30. We haven't seen Ricochet do a 6:30 I mean, he started doing 630s again, but in WWE, he was not ever seen to do 630s out of NXT. So it was nice to see he could still do it. But at a certain point, Nana comes back. He managed to grab his coat. He gets nailed by not only by Ricochet, but Swerve. But Swerve manages to finally beat Nana. Well, not beat Nana. Swerve did nail Nana by accident when he was doing the suicide dive. But when you see Swerve beat Ricochet, sorry I said Nana, it was done well. And Swerve gets down on his knees and presents the coat back to Nana, which he gets so happy, he dances and then puts Swerve's shoulders. He puts it on his shoulders. Makes it very clear that Ricochet is not the one he anointed, it is you. It is pretty much a Swerve Strickland, which I found was good. And now he's number one contender because that was the entire match all about. But the question is, what happens to Ricochet now? Where are they going to go with Ricochet? Will they just drop him like a hot potato now because now he's done the job he was supposed to do and build up Swerve? And I hope that's not the case. Moving on. Whew. The Continental Classic match. Here's the thing. Shusuke Okada, I like him. Bitch. I know I could do the other one, but I'm doing this one. Bitch. He's been interesting. But at this point, he's held the title for quite a while, and I thought maybe it would be good to drop it and then have to fight to get it back. See what Okada can do outside the range that he did with the Bucks and with Kenny and with Hangman Page. I was kind of hoping for that when it came to Brody King. Good match with Brody. But they chose not to drop the title. Here's the thing. He really didn't need to drop it. Not that he can't get it back later after Brody King had a little bit of run of it. But honestly, I think it would have been better if Okada had dropped it. Because now what? Yes, Okada is still cared about. He's still famous. He's getting great money. But he's not interesting now. There's no Young Bucks. It's not like he's working with Kenny Omega. Unless they are going to do something with him later. Or with Will Ospreay. I just feel like there should be something more with him. And if there isn't, it just sucks to see someone who does have character now. Bitch. Nah, I did do it. But the point is, he should be doing something more. And if they're not doing anything for the next few months, it feels like it should have been better to let Brody King have it and then let Okada get pissed off and then start trashing people until he gets the damn thing back. That's what I think would have been better. Next. I didn't expect anything from this match. Yes, the Outrunners are very popular. I actually like them. I do like the Outrunners. But did you actually think they're going to beat the Hurt Syndicate? Nope. I knew they're going to get a good match out of them, which they did. And I was glad to see they got a good match out of them. And also see that at one point when they were getting over on the Hurt Syndicate, and you see pretty much MVP's basically saying, they're punking y'all. What are you doing? They're punking you. And that's when they put the hammer down and just ended them. But then you get two idiots who actually do not believe will even stand a chance. That's Leo Rush and Action Andretti. Do I actually want to see Action Andretti and Leo Rush go up against Hurt Syndicate? No. Actually, I don't. Because I don't feel nothing from them. They had a good vid pack that I saw. But I haven't seen anything interesting from them. And what happened to the Murder Machines? Or was it the Killing Machines? Murder Machines, I think it is. When it comes to, well, I shouldn't be saying anything about Lance Archer and Brian Cage, because they never win anyway. And that's the problem we have with the tag division. Tag division sucks. There is no credible teams on the tag division. They're just random matches that barely have any story, and they feel empty because none of the teams really feel important. Murder Hawk can't get it done. Brian Cage can't get it done. Leo Rush and Action Andretti barely even have any interest. Now, we did have Top Flight, and we did have Private Party. I don't know about what's going on with Private Party, but Top Flight, haven't seen them in a while. Maybe one of them is hurt, or they're just working on Collision, or they're working on ROH. The tag division just feels empty. Next, the women's second best match of the night. Mariah May versus Toni Storm. Anything goes. Outside the ring, inside the ring. It was that damn good. It was that good. I will say that I enjoyed this match the most. I'm being objective. It's the second best match of the night. For me personally, it was the best match of the night. It was. It was the best match of the night because it had the best story between Mariah May and a Toni. That is what is the most important thing in this situation. Relevancy through a story. They both killed each other in that match. They both did a great job during that match. And I would recommend you watch it. And in the end, Mariah could not get that title back. And when it was all over and they went through the table, the second table, because they did go through a first table with a powerbomb, you can see after it was done and she had won, she was laying on top of Mariah. She actually pulled herself to Mariah and she was hugging her. I felt that was the best way to end it. She hugged her. And I enjoyed that. That showed that they tried to go full circle because Mariah screwed over Toni. Toni had to go through hell to get back to Mariah. And when she got back to her, she still loved her. Loved to hate her. That's what it came down to it. And she gave her that hug. Now, I believe the story's over. It should be. And Mariah should be doing something else. Maybe going after the TBS title. Because I think that would be the wisest thing to do now. Since Mercedes has done what she can do. And there's no more credible people. The only other credible person that's in the division right now is Mariah May. And I truly believe Mariah should now go to the TBS title position and take on Mercedes. If Saraya is not going to be involved, let Mariah do it now. Now, we had 2 more matches left. Cage match. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. The best match of the night because of its story. Oh, I haven't forgotten about Kenny, and I haven't forgotten about Kateska. I'm getting to that next. As a wrestling match, no. As a exciting steel cage match, it's the best match of the night. That's what I mean. The story was also good between the two. It was good. And I will tell you, seeing how I got nervous at one point when you see them do that Spanish fly off the top turn, well, not even off the top, they're off the top the steel cage, and you see Will really look like he might have messed up his hip. That makes me nervous because that is a very good way to blow out your hip. He seemed to still be able to function, but he was limping pretty good. And seeing that Kyle by that moment, after it happened, and he said, "I hate you." That also went with the story. And as a gimmick match, it was the best match of the night. It was. That's the reason why it's better than Mariah and Toni Storm. Now, the best technical match will be Kenny Omega versus a Kateska for the International Championship. As a straight wrestling match, it was the best match there. Seeing that at one point, I'm hoping he didn't break his hand. I know my hand's still messed up from a fall I had several months ago. But to see that while at commentary, he decided to take off his earpiece, and that is Don Callis, started hitting down on Kenny and may have just hit his hand on the desk, on the commentary desk. And he was going like this. Hopefully he's fine. But that was the best technical match. I will tell you, the way they went through Japanese strong style, I'm not saying it's one of the best styles. I think I like European catch cam. Because if anyone has seen last year, a Charlie Dempsey versus a Jonathan Gresham, that was one of the best technical matches I've seen. But as a Japanese strong style match, it really did help along with the story and the title. That's the reason why it's number one here as a match for basic, good technical wrestling. I will tell you that there's hyping up the Tickleitis story with Kenny. And here's the thing, guys. Sooner or later, they're going to have to move away from that. I'm not saying that he has to lie that he didn't have diverticulitis. I believe that's the name of it. No. But sooner or later, unless he really is having still serious problems with his intestines, sooner or later people are going to get tired of that. And they will need to move away from it. Not saying that I want to see him do something really crazy where he literally could hurt himself. But I do believe sooner or later they will need to move away from where his abdomen is always going to be the focus. It has to be moved away eventually. But it's alright at this time. The final match. This is it. This is where everything else was pretty good. But then we came to this match where I thought, and I thought it very, very carefully. There must be a special. There must be something special at the end of this. There has to be something special. And we get Cope versus a Jon Moxley. Good match, but I gotta say that a lot of the steam for the fans by this point had already been gone, particularly with the steel cage match. So it took them a while to begin to build back up because they were burnt out by the time, and this is nearing 12 o'clock. They were tired. It took a while for them to build up. It did happen. But I'll tell you this. It told a very good story. Seeing that Moxley was still every single time trying to break Cope's neck. And going to JR, who did, 2 or 3 matches? I think he did 2 up to 3 matches. And it was good to see that JR was able to do 3 matches in the night. I enjoyed those matches. But then, we reached in the end. The ref gets taken out. Moxley get mad. You get a Cope trying to get the win. Could not get the win. You see Wheeler Yuta coming out, nailing a... They did hype up Wheeler Yuta was still brainwashed and having Stockholm Syndrome. And that's why he nailed Cope. But then you see Jay White coming out trying to stop him and taking the briefcase that was thrown into the ring and then getting... Pretty much, he nails Cope in the face with it, but still doesn't get pinned. But then finally when Cope looks like he's about to get somewhere, he gets nailed in... I think it was Cope got nailed in the face. Or was it Moxley got nailed in the face? It was Christian, who basically signs his contract, jumps in the ring, tries to pin Cope, doesn't work, does a kill switch, doesn't work, and he gets put into a bulldog choke. That bulldog choke was in tight. And then you see that he tried to be slick about it. That's Christian putting his hand on Cope in the hope that he can just pin him while he's in the bulldog choke. Didn't work. He gets pinned. And then he wins. And I'm like, really? Really? There better be something interesting in the next 2 or 3 minutes before they end. There better be something interesting. And the most we got was Nana coming out, facing a Moxley, and then we get Swerve jumping from the stand, jumping onto a whole bunch of security and a Moxley, and pretty much going like this. And we close with Swerve. Look, I do like Swerve. He did a great job with Ricochet. I don't see a problem with him going after the title next. But here's the thing. If he does not win that damn title by the time they roll around to maybe the next pay-per-view or the next Dynamite whenever they set this up, this was for nothing. I'm saying it right now. this entire situation with Mox will mean nothing if there was no one there. How can I explain this? Look, guys. This all started because CM Punk pissed off Tony Khan and the Bucks. We got a terrible storyline with the Bucks. Now we got the storyline with Mox, where we know Mox is not the best when it comes to being a leader. And it should be someone else, and there was nobody. He's been holding that title in that briefcase all this time. We had the rumors of knowing that there could have been a very strong deal between Tony Khan and Shane McMahon, who the rumors were that he wanted a share in the company, and Tony said no. And if Shane still isn't coming, this storyline with Mox feels empty. It's not the point that Mox isn't working hard. He is. It's not the point that Death Riders didn't do a good job. They did, but there's a point where there needs to be an extra payoff. You could have done this with Copeland going against Swerve Strickland. But I can understand they don't want pretty much a face Swerve going up against a face Cope. They don't. That was a gabak. Excuse me. But the point here is this. If Swerve goes and will go up against Mox, if he does not win, we have a serious problem on our hands. Because it makes no sense why he's still holding that damn title. If he doesn't get beaten by Swerve, this is the most stupidest storyline I've seen. Because Cope could have been the one to do it if Swerve was not going to be his next opponent. I understand Mox is doing it. But if Mox beats Swerve at the next pay-per-view or whatever Dynamite they do, because they could do it at Dynamite, if he does not win that damn title back, this makes no sense. There must be a payoff with Mox. There has to be somebody with Mox. If they don't do this, it is going to be the most stupidest thing. We having the same champion, which feels empty. I'm saying it right now. He better win, Swerve. And understand, Swerve's done very well, but I don't think he's strong enough to be something interesting. And I like Swerve. So they better have something special. If they don't, with Swerve, or if there's no payoff after getting beat after Swerve is beaten, this is stupid. But this is just me. Peace.